You can forget the 2022 debate of transgender bathrooms or banning books. One Missouri school district is going back to Little House on the Prairie style and paddling kids who get out of line. Superintendent Merrill Johnson wrote, the use of corporal punishment will return to Cassville schools for the 2022-2023 school year. This change will give principals more disciplinary options before students receive more serious punishments, such as suspensions. Evidently, it's legal in more than a dozen states to paddle children at school, which brings up an enormous amount of questions. Fellow and law lecturer, Harvard Law School, Ian Samuel, former Supreme Court clerk, is with us now. We'll say at the outset, I think there are probably teachers of both you and me who wish they could have paddled us, but did not.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But I think about this. What parent would allow their child to be paddled by someone at school? Like, that's a failure of parenting, not of the school.
I would think so. And my understanding is that this Cassville policy, thank God, is supposed to at least be opt-in. In other words, just by, availing yourself of the public schools, you're not going to have your children subject to abuse by petty little tyrants who, for some reason, get off on hitting little kids in the butt with a paddle. But I don't think that really solves the problem, because even though I would never sign, obviously, such a form allowing my children's teachers to hit them, I don't want them in environments where children are being abused by adults and they're just having that normalized, right? We have a big enough problem in this country, an enormous problem with child abuse and child, sexual assault and child rape, things like that. We don't need the institutions of government normalizing violence against children, even in the sight of those children, right? It's really shocking, very sick stuff, I think.
Yeah, there's something kind of odd about it. As you read through the story, it says that it's going to always be done by an administrator with another adult supervising who will be certified. What that certification is seems sort of bizarre, how you get certified in corporal punishment. But 69,000 kids between 2017 and 2018 were, quote unquote, struck in school. 20,000 in Mississippi, 14,000 Texas, 9,000 Alabama, 2,500 in Missouri.
Yeah, and it's a little disturbing, isn't it, that the concentration of these students, these children who are being struck in school, is in the Deep South. I mean, I don't want to overreact to this, but it is profoundly disturbing that you have, in states with large numbers of poor black children who are going to be in these public schools, these are the ones that we're deciding are going to have an official state policy of hitting misbehaving children. I know a lot of, wealthy people of all races. I've never known any of them to authorize at their expensive private schools the physical striking of their children.
Wouldn't be the flip side, right? If you're well-to-do and you have a child who really is sort of unmanageable, you send them to military school. That was always the threat in my house. The next time you do this, you're heading to military school, which, by the way, worked on me, I might add. But at some point, if parents just can't get control of their kids, what else are they left with?
Well, I think that's a difficult question. And I know that, although I have my own opinions about corporal punishment for children, it's not something that I believe in. I understand that there are a lot of, normal working class people who don't have that opinion. And I think that it is one thing, though, to say, you have to manage your children at home and you have to manage your household at home in the way that you seem to think is best. It is quite another to say that we're going to officially use state violence against children in any circumstance, right? Because it is one thing to say I might trust a parent with the individual decisions about their children. There are limits, of course, even on that. But there is no universe in which I would trust a bunch of state employees to decide how much violence against children is too much. The answer is zero, right? And I think that there's a reasonable reason
you make a great point that once you authorize that, once you hire people who are willing to do that, it opens up a real Pandora's box. Ian, it is...
who's signing up to get certified for this? It's sick.
Yeah, you can't imagine who is going to sign up to be certified in that, but there we go. Good to see you. Thank you.
Nice to see you too.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.